Hello student, let's start chapter 11, Social and Economic Impact of British Rule in India. Let's continue with the chapter. The British rule had a major impact on the economic, social and cultural life of India. British goods were allowed entry in India without paying any custom duty, but duty was levied on the Indian goods sent to England. This policy of British was called one-way free trade policy. Here some major impact given on the economic, social and the cultural life of India. So we will learn one by one. Number one is given ruin of artisans and craftsmen. Number two, stagnation and deterioration of agriculture. Third, lack of development of modern industries. Fourth, plantation industry. Fifth, poverty and famines. And the last, drain of wealth. Number 1. Ruin of artisans and craftsmen. Indian handicraft industry, which was famous all over the world since the ancient times, collapsed due to competition with British machine-made goods. Moreover, British goods entered India without paying of any custom duty. The gradual disappearance of Indian rulers who were the main customers of Indian handicraft also give a big blow to this industry. The ruin of Indian handicraft was reflected in the ruin of the towns and cities which were famous as manufacturing centers of handicrafts like Dhaka, Surat and Murshidabad and many other. Second is given exploitations of peasant, excessive land revenue demand and overcrowding of agriculture led to stagnations and deteriorations of agriculture. Indian peasant highly taxed by the government and exploited by the money lenders were too power to bring about any improvement in the production techniques. Better seeds, cattle, manure or fertilizer were beyond their reach. The British government also took no interest in improving and modernizing agriculture. Third is given your lack of development of modern industries. Most of the modern Indian industry were owned by the British capitalists. They were interested in investment in Indian because labor was cheap, raw material were very easily available, and there was a ready market. The emerging Indian capitalist had to compete with the British capitalist in India got desired bank loans and railway freight charges. Indian capitalists had to take loan at a high rate of interest. The British government did not give any financial help to the newly established Indian industries and neglected technical education. There were very few engineering colleges or polytechnic in our country. Indian industrialists demanded protection from the tough competition from British industries. They demanded that British industrialists must pay import duty for bringing their goods into India. Between 1920s and 1930s, the British were forced to give protection to Indian industry due to the agitations and pressure by nationalist leaders. The First World War gave a boost to Indian industries. Fourth, plantations industry. Around 1750, India was largest producer of cotton textiles. Indian textiles were sold in Southeast Asia, West and Central Asia. From the 16th century, European trading companies began buying Indian textiles for sale in Europe. Under the British, coffee, tea, and indigo plantations were started. All the plantations were owned by the European planters. In these plantations, the laborers were mostly Indians, bonded laborers who were very badly exploited. Fifth, poverty and famine. The British economic policies led to extreme poverty for the Indian masses who further suffered due to frequent famine. Drain of wealth. 6 point. From the very beginning of the British rule till its end, the British drained away wealth from India in various ways. The British took back to England the enormous fortune that they extorted from Indian rulers, jamindars, and merchants. The British used Indians' wealth to buy Indian product which they exported out of India and made profits. Indian resources were used to raise the army which was used to conquer India and to fight emerging powers outside India. This army was used in the World War II. Thus, British also exploited the military resources of India. Now, humanitarian measures. Social reformation number 1, development of means of transport and communication number 2, and the third one is introduction of modern education. Social reformation number 1 point is given. The most important humanitarian measure taken by the British in India was the ban of the sati, when Governor General William Bentinck declared it a crime to be punished with utmost severity. Female infanticide, or the practice of killing a female child at the time of birth, was also prohibited by the British. Another important act passed by the British was the Widow Remarriage Act 1856, enabling Hindu widows to remarry. Now the next topic is given, development of the means of transport and communication. A very positive impact of the British rule was the introduction of modern means of transport and communication. The British introduced steamships and started improving the roads. They started construction road to link all the major cities, ports and markets of the country. A modern railway system was built by the British. The British also established a modern postal system and introduced the telegraph. By introducing the means of transport and communication, British interconnected India and promoted unity among Indians. Now, the next topic is given, introduction of modern education. The person responsible for introducing Western education in India was Lord Macaulay. As a result of the spread of modern Western education, the Indians got rational, democratic, and secular ideas. They were the first to question the British rule and became leader and organizer of the national movement. Western education Western education also gave the educated Indians a common language for communication. English became the medium of communication between Western educated Indians coming from different parts of the country. Now the chapter is completed. Next class, live class, we can discuss again social and economic impact of British rule in India, and whatever you have doubt, you just clarify it. Thank you.